Okay, hi! It's been a while since I've just sat down and yapped, and honestly, I really have missed it. But now, I have the perfect opportunity to do it again. Today, I want to tell you about my visit to a flower patch at a farm. I know it's not a convention, or a meet, or any sort of actual furry event, but the reason I wanted to make a video out of it is because, as you can probably tell, I fursuited at the farm. It's one of the few times that I've gone fursuiting in public, not counting events or gatherings, and overall it was a really good time. It's hard for me to explain how big the flower patch really is, especially because I'm just not good with measurements or anything, but from what I found out about the farm, it has a few hundred acres of land which are not all dedicated to the flowers. But even then, the space for the flowers is still massive. You just have to be there in person to see how big it is. In September, the farm puts on a fall flower festival where people can pay to pick sunflowers and a few other kinds of flowers. Late summer and early fall is sunflower season, so sunflowers definitely dominated the flower patch. The farm also has some other activities for families like a small petting zoo, some food trucks, live music, and even a gift shop. But I was mostly interested in the flower patch, of course. I actually went during the final weekend of the Fall Flower Festival, so I'm really glad that I caught it before it was just done for the year. Now, how did it go? Well, I'll show you. Before I actually suited up, I paid for my and my mother's entry, which is when they gave us a bucket to put our flowers in, and a small tool to cut the flowers. We looked at the gift shop first, though, and I bought a sweatshirt that you can see right here, for a friend who doesn't live in the area and who I've been trying to find a few gifts for. So, just a quick look at it. That's the back of it, actually. That's not the front, it's the back. And this is the front. So, has the name of the farm, kind of a simple design, but has some nice colors, and oh my life, I wish it was mine because it's so comfortable. I wish I bought one for myself, but I'm so glad that I can still give it to a friend. Now, at the gift shop, I also asked the man behind the counter if I could wear my fursuit, and he said yeah. I think it did catch him a little off guard, but he genuinely seemed like there was no issue with it, so obviously can't complain about that. After that, we checked out a few parts of the flower patch so I could see where I was going to take some pictures, but then we realized it was actually hot enough that we probably shouldn't stay out for too long. So before I could actually see all of the flower patch, we decided I should just go ahead and suit up and kind of freestyle it. So that's exactly what I did, and then the fun began. Okay, it's like really hot right now, and I'm feeling less hot now that I put on my head compared to when I didn't have my head on. This is kind of weird, but anyway, we're on a sunflower farm, let's go! See all of these? Look at all these. Look at these, they're so pretty. Look at all of them, man. This is great. This first row of sunflowers that I walked by was just so unique. As you can see, they have white petals with a hint of yellow, and I honestly can't say that I've seen some like these before. I've always thought of the traditional sunflower look with bright yellow petals and the brown center. So seeing this kind of sunflower for the first time and in person was just a pretty special moment. And while there were a few rows of these kinds of sunflowers, they were nothing compared to the amount of traditional sunflowers. There are so many sunflowers, like it's unbelievable. Like, you see them in art, you see them in pictures, but sometimes you just have to see them in person just to appreciate how many there are. Like, look at all this. You can, like, rows and rows and rows. Like, this is insane. And there's still some more, like, that way. I don't know if I can see, but that way. So, you see? So many. Yeah, a crazy amount of sunflowers. I do wish I had gone deeper into the rows of the sunflowers to record and get more pictures, but I did get just a few pictures inside one of the rows and a bunch of other pictures around the sunflowers. Huge shout out, by the way, to my mother for taking the pictures and bearing with me through all of this. Because it was a decently warm day, we were carrying some personal stuff, plus the buckets and the tools to pick the flowers, and even though we definitely could have planned it a little better, we still made it work. Of course, I had to get pictures with the white sunflowers as well. They were just gorgeous, and I absolutely love how those pictures turned out too. After getting pictures with the sunflowers, I went off to explore on my own so I could let my mother actually pick out her own sunflowers. She definitely deserved some time to do that. So here's more of what I saw.
There's something interesting here. I wonder why this is here. There's a mirror. Wonder what it's for. Oh! It's not! There's no way, this is not a mirror. I thought it was a mirror. I can't see, obviously. But no, it's not a mirror. Never mind. Just forget I said anything. Let's see, look at these flowers right here. I think you can see the flowers. It's a nice little row of more colorful flowers that are not sunflowers, so very nice, very nice. I can actually get up and show you a little more. We got some right here. I don't know how well you can actually see them. But oh man, the ones over here, look at these. I hope you can see them. Again, I'm having a hard time seeing. But yeah, look at all those. Yeah, right here. They're very nice.
The final part of the flower patch that I saw had these orange flowers, and I love how bright their color was. And thinking about it now, I definitely should have taken some photos with them, because they looked really nice with the color of the flannel that I was wearing that day. Definitely a bit of a missed opportunity, but I also think I was getting a little tired, because I had been actively walking for about an hour. In the same row as the orange flowers, there were these lovely purple and pink flowers. They were so pretty, and I liked how they had a nice spectrum of colors, from softer pinks to darker purples, and even some white as well. All of those colors just looked great together, and it was just very nice to see these flowers. After I was done with the flower patch, I did get a few more photos in a smaller area that was near the gift shop. I gotta say, sitting and laying down in the shade by the tree was just so nice. I probably could have actually just taken a nap there. There were also a few tiny sunflowers which were absolutely adorable. Plus, there was also a tiny bench right in front of different kinds of flowers. It kind of felt like this area was just a mini version of the flower patch, because, again, all the flowers were smaller, and even the bench was so small. It was a cute and amusing area for sure, though. And that's about it for my fursuiting adventure at the flower patch. I do have one more part about my experience at the flower patch that I want to briefly mention, though. And that's the interactions that I had with people. There was a decent amount of people while I was at the farm. I'd say maybe 3 or 4 dozen, if not a little more. But I actually didn't have a lot of interactions with folks because the area was just so big. But the interactions that I did have were all great. Just a minute or two after I started walking down the first row of sunflowers that I went through, I ran into a man and a woman, probably in their late 20s or so. The lady said that my costume was really cool and asked me if it's just something that I do, and I told her, yeah, it's just a hobby. A bit of a weird hobby, admittedly, but of course I still have a lot of fun with it. She did look like she was in awe just a tiny bit, like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. But I don't blame her. It's not every day that you just run into a big, fluffy cartoon cat with a selfie stick walking around a flower patch. I definitely hope the people who just passed me or saw me walking around were at least a little bit amused. The next big interaction was with what I think was a whole family. It was 2 ladies, 1 man, an older man, and a woman. One of the 2 ladies said from a distance if they could get a photo with me, and after I said yes, they approached me, and they just said that my costume was very cool. They even came up with their own idea for a picture though, which I thought was very nice. The 2 ladies were going to high-five my paws on both sides. So one of them was on this side, and the other one was on this side, while I just had my paws like this, and the photo turned out so good. They did show it to me, and I just remember it looking great. And I do wish I asked for it because I don't really have photos of me fursuiting with just other people, which I know it's kind of weird to keep pictures of other people, but that one just turned out so good, and I do wish I asked for it or just to take a picture of it. The last people I ran into were a lady and her daughter, who looked like maybe she was 5 or so? It looked like the girl saw me walking around and wanted to interact with me, but might have been a little shy. But her mother helped her approach me, and once I actually focused on the little girl, she started smiling a little bit. She gave me a hug and she high-fived me, and her mother actually took a couple of pictures of us, so that one was probably the most wholesome interaction. I'm sure there were a lot more people who saw me and had their own reactions, but I couldn't really tell. Still, I definitely can't complain about the direct interactions that I had. I absolutely love that some people will choose to interact, whether it's asking what I'm doing, saying that my suit is cool, and of course asking for pictures. Stuff like this makes public fursuiting just such a good experience. This was definitely one of my favorite fursuit outings that I've had so far. It's always a bit scary going fursuiting in a place that you haven't gone to before, but it's all about choosing the right place, exploring the surroundings, and knowing where you should and shouldn't go. And of course, if it's a place being run by someone, showing those people the fursuit and asking if it's okay to wear it is very important. The people at the farm were really cool about it, which I'm really grateful for. And I know they also have their spring flower festival when they plant tulips. So you know that I'm coming back when that season rolls around next year. But again, this was a nice adventure, and I got to do what I wanted the most, which was get some nice fursuit pictures with some beautiful flowers. But the fact that the public fursuiting aspect of this went so well definitely inspires me to try to find other cool places to go public fursuiting. And I do have at least one idea for later in the year. All I'm gonna say about it is, there are like 11 Fridays left until Christmas. Last time I checked, I think it's 11. So that's all I'm going to tell you about that. You can probably hazard a guess. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed another yapping session about me going fursuiting somewhere. Let me know what you thought about it if you want. I definitely would love to read your comments. But until next time, take care!